And I love Prince Harry, and Prince Harry should be king. He should be king. Prince Harry, not William. William and all of them in there, Camilla is the wicked witch of the devil himself, because she is part of why Princess Diana is not here. I do not like them. I am from the islands, and we don't need them in the Caribbean. Get lost. Demolish the monarchy. This is 2023, okay? And I will support Harry 100%. I do feel for him. Yes, I do. And everything in the book is the truth. And Charles is the monster, not Harry. Harry's no monster, not Meghan. He's bringing the story out right now. They are evil people. They are not nice. Behind the wall, we all are one human being, and behind that wall there are no difference with me and you and any other Brits. Give the people back the money. They are just welfare recipients, living off the taxpayers of the British people. And the British people are stupid, supporting that nonsense monarchy. It is nothing. It's just a title. It means nothing, a title. I'm angry at them.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Maggie, thank you so much for being here first. And I see Cherry Traveler, Beverly McCaskill, Lydia Washington, Sonia Johnson, Mary H., Joy Amore, Emma D., Vivian G., Sussex Team Warrior, and did I say Joy Amore? Okay, I think I'm repeating myself. All right. Well, anyway, thank you, one and all. All right. Give the people back their money. Living off the taxpayer of the British people, putting up with that nonsense. I'm from the islands, and we. I love her. I love her. Okay, Wicket. You know, at the last minute, I changed the thumbnail. I didn't want to exclude Wicket, the wicked stepmother. But anyway, thank you all so much for your patience. And let's get on with it, shall we? Check it out. There is a up and coming event for Prince Harry. Prince Harry. So it seems like there may be a bit of a conflict in the schedule, or the schedule, as they say in the UK, but it'll be interesting to see how that works out. I mean, well, we'll look at that. Okay, let me make that a little bigger so I can see it. And there we go. So it says here, New York Times unveils main stage interviews at annual Deal Book Summit on December 4th. Among the interviewees, Sam Altman, Jeff Bezos, Bill Clinton, Alex Cooper, Sundar Pichai, or is it Pitchy? Oh, well. And Jerome Powell, Serena Williams, and more. And what's the greatest more that I can think of, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. See it on the right side there? The New York Times today unveiled a lineup of interviewees for the 2024 Deal Book Summit on December 4th at Jazz at Lincoln Center in New York. The live journalism event will be hosted by Andrew Ross Sorkin, I remember that name, Times columnist and Deal Book founder and editor at large, and will feature wide ranging discussions on the most important stories across business, politics, and culture. And there you can see a whole list of names, which includes, of course, Prince Harry. Each year, we bring together a collection of the most consequential leaders at the intersection of business, policy, and culture who are impacting society, and this year is no different. The interviews from the Deal Book Summit showcase the power of independent journalism and provide insight into the forces shaping society. The summit will also feature a series of task force conversations with experts, stakeholders, and leaders in the fields spanning from AI to sports. The task force includes et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. And let me see here. There we go. And of course, take a look there. This is from 2021. That is from 2021. For some reason, it looked a little different as we recall, because I don't recall seeing Harry there. Exclusive: Harry and Meghan wants to make sustainable investing mainstream. Well, if you guys remember, the Sussexes, um, they wanted to do very conscientious investments, things that align up with their philosophy and their causes, such as environmental and sustainable. And of course, as always, something that gives back to the local community, that kind of stuff. So I getting into the investment business, and they are joining Ethics. That's the name of that investment firm, Ethic. Yeah, Ethic. Um, a fintech asset manager in the fast growing environmental, social, and governance space as impact partners and investors. Ethic has 1.3 billion under management and creates separately managed accounts to invest in social, that is, responsibility themes. So, yeah, what I just said. I wish I can get in on that. Mm, 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 mm. I think that would mean your money would be sure to grow, right? So anyway, Harry and Meghan getting into the finance and stuff, and there at the bottom you can see on the right side by Andrew Ross Sorkin. Remember that name? Well, again, that was from 2021. So give you an idea what to expect. And there's Sorkin and Melanie Hobson via Zoom or satellite or whatever. And there is our Duchess. What an impression she made that day. Um, as per usual, she looked absolutely gorgeous. And of course, here's a little collage of the conversation. So I was thoroughly impressed. Now, what I'm going to do for you is play a little sound bite from that day for your for your consideration. I will play a little sound bite. Okay, sound bite, sound bite, sound bite. Ooh, I got a fun video to share with you all later too. I'm going to try to keep moving, so pardon me if I don't hop in and out of the chat with you guys. At least I'll keep it to a minimal. All right. And
privilege. My husband has always said, with great privilege comes great responsibility. But even before I had any sort of privilege in my life, when my life and my lifestyle were very, very different, I always just stood up for what was right. And so I've been gone from the US for a really long time. I lived in Canada for 7 years for work, then moved to the UK, and to come back and now be a mother of two, and to see that the US is one of only 6 countries in the entire world that doesn't offer any form of national paid leave just didn't make sense. So I guess my approach was the same as it's been since I was really young. When I was 11 and I saw something that was wrong on TV, I put pen to paper and wrote a letter about it. So on this, I said, well, let me write a letter and let me pick up the phone and make some calls and see if I can help. It's just, to me, it seems like a really logical and obvious thing to do. And I'm happy that I'm able to support it. To that, they did a study that said 61% of women would rather talk about the details of their own death than talk about money. And you look at that and go, how have we culturally allowed that to be the case? There's nothing wrong with talking about a woman's success or her ambition or her financial prowess. And we all know that if you're able to be financially independent, it changes how you move in the world. It changes your entire way of being. Why is it culturally we are equipping girls and women to think that if you are ambitious, there's something negative about that? Whereas if a boy is described that way, or if a man certainly is described as ambitious, that's an incredibly positive thing culturally. But, you know, it wasn't until the 70s in the US that women could access an independent line of credit. That was when my mom was growing up, right? The 70s is just a minute ago. And you look at that and think of how much progress we still need to make if women are making something like 84 cents on the dollar and Black women are making 63 cents on the dollar. If we are able to keep pushing forward, and that comes and starts young, right? If I was ingrained at a young age to understand more about the stock market or have financial literacy, how different that would put me in the world. Imagine what the world would be like if you ingrained other elements of financial understanding, especially in young women, so they could move in the world in a different way. No matter how difficult it is, if you know the difference between right and wrong, you must stand up for what's right.
You know, I know this is about Harry's deal book, but I just didn't mind taking that little trip down memory lane. She was magnificent, magnificent. And I'm pretty sure that Melody Hobson was very proud of her little sister. So there you go. There you go. Now do you see why they didn't have room for her at the Windsor table? Now do you understand? Is it not abundantly clear to you at this point why she was not welcome? Could you imagine the Duchess of Sussex holding court in that family? Especially when you think about because I'm going to tell you guys, one thing is for certain, even though it doesn't seem that way because of, you know, the way the royal family carried on, but Englishmen, they are always fascinated with the stature, with the way that American women hold a space, especially our Duchess of Sussex. So they can pretend otherwise if they like, but they know they get a kick out of that. Connie Balmer! Hey, Connie Balmer, thank you for joining us. Okay. And of course, life is really full circle sometimes, isn't it? Do you guys remember this when Prince Harry was in Chicago for the Obama Foundation? And guess who was hosting this forum? Why, after the last few minutes, if you haven't guessed, Melanie Hobson. Yes. She herself is a force to be reckoned with in this financial world. She is incredibly successful and just so happens to be married to Steven Spielberg. Just so happens to be married to Steven Spielberg. Not that that is, we don't ever want to make it seem like that's the most important thing in a woman's life is who they're married to. Certainly not. She's her own person, and she is a force of nature. So, okay. And just got a couple of more photos from that day. They actually still have that video online of Harry speaking with Melanie. And then, of course, there were some youth that came out to speak about the future. And what I loved about that day is that Harry, being the great communicator that he is, he knew exactly when to speak and he knew exactly when to lay low. I mean, it's just, he was magnificent. He was incredible. He was so charming and polite and doesn't seem at all like he came from that family of weirdos. So, yeah, that was a good day. Any day that you can have the Sussexes involved is a good day. Of course, at that time, this was 2016. This was before we found out that there was a future Duchess of Sussex. Was it? Yeah, it was 2016, I think. Yeah, it was. And of course, he was there at the Hyde Park Academy at the invitation of Michelle Obama, the First Lady of the United States at the time. And the kids did not know. I don't even think they knew Michelle Obama was coming, let alone Prince Harry. But the kids were so excited. They were almost speechless. So that was a great day. You know, I miss those times. I really do miss those times. But have faith, you guys. We're going to get them back. We're going to get those times back. I guess it's only fair in any open and free society that from time to time you can really take interest in what's happening. Well, I'm speaking for Americans. You can take interest in what's happening in the White House, and you can be very prideful and excited. And then other times you just have to ignore it, switch it off. Hopefully, in another 4 years, you can have a reason to get excited again. So that's that's something that we'll just have to endure, but we'll get to the other side of it. I promise. And of course, the Paley Honors tribute to Tyler Perry. That is also on the 4th of December at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel. So it is possible to do, both things on the same day. I mean, it is possible that Harry could show up in New York and then dash to the West Coast in time for this event. It's not impossible. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna. I you know I would prefer both. I mean, I really would. So let me see. What time is the other event? Let me see. Uh, did they put a time? Oh, I don't see the time for the other event. It just says December 4th. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Might be able to do both. I mean, after all, it's West Coast, and there is a 3-hour difference, I believe, 4-hour difference. So yeah, it might be possible to do both. We'll see. Okay. Oh, did I say what did I say? Did I say George Lucas or no? Okay, I guess I said something different. Oh, thank you guys. I totally missed that. Who did I say? I don't recall now. Did I say Steven Spielberg? Okay, thank you very much, George Lucas. Definitely spoke out of turn. And the weird thing is, I can see his face while I'm saying it, but I probably said something wrong. Thank you for that. Um, Okay, let's continue. So yeah, there you are, the Paley Center. Okay, the Paley Center for Media to salute Tyler Perry for his landmark achievements in media at the Paley Honors in Beverly Hills. The visionary icon will receive the Paley Center's highest honor, the Paley Award, during the star-studded gala celebration that will include statues from his, I'm not statues, what I'm saying, salutes, that is, from his close friends, colleagues, and contemporaries. So, wow, look at the list of people that they have there. That is very impressive, which of course includes Melanie Hobson and guess who else? George Lucas. As you can see, George Lucas will be there. The other guy probably won't. And of course, Harry and Meghan and so on and so forth. So this should be great. He's produced over 2,000 episodes for television. Do you know how much money Tyler Perry has generated? Not just for himself, but for a lot of people. That is impressive. KDV, thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you for being here and being a member of Royal Sussex. All right. Okay, so next is Kate Middleton to take on biggest roles since return to public duties after cancer treatment as she joins William for Qatar royal state visit next week. Isn't that exciting? Kate is going to Qatar. Oh, this is so exciting. I'm breathless with excitement. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm going to have to celebrate. I'm going to buy a round for everyone. The only thing is, wah, wah. According to the Grimace, the Princess of Wales will take a significant role in next month's state visit by the Emir of Qatar. She and the Prince of Wales will meet the Emir and at the residence on behalf of the King and travel with them to Horse Guard on December 3rd. Catherine will not attend state banquet in evening, but will expect her to attend the lunch that is at Buckingham Palace following official welcome at Horse Guard. What is that about? What is that about? So first you say she's going to take a significant role, and then an hour later you come back and say she will not attend the state banquet? Is it because she doesn't want to be stuck behind that candelabra again? I wonder if she and Godzilla are feuding or something like that. That is just so strange, isn't it? I mean, why not make a day of it? Why not make a day of it? You had enough energy to go to the Wimbledon, right? I don't understand what's going on. That is so strange. It's like, will we ever see her in a tiara again? Because y'all know she loves to wear those tiaras, but it seems as though she's not allowed to don her favorite tiaras. But you know who will be there is Ford Fiesta. Oh no, what happened? Do unto others. Bye, kitty. Thank you so much, Legs. Yes, that is so weird. I just I don't know what's happening. That is so unexpected. Although it seems like it's some sort of a trend, but it is so unexpected. Oh well, she'll stay strong. She'll get by. She always does. Let me see. Yeah, she'll be strong. Oh, wait, is it this one? Yeah, there we go. Behind the candelabra. If you all recall, the last time that there was a state dinner, she was stuck behind that candelabra after that offensive appearance that she made for the president of South Korea, stepping from the state Bentley with her legs showing all the way up to her nether regions. So I don't know. I guess that she was traumatized by that candelabra event. Now, either she is not welcome by the queen consort, or she has been traumatized because of that day that they stuck her behind that candelabra. But whatever the case may be, it looks like somebody is getting their comeuppance. So very strange, interesting. I just say that is quite interesting. How curious. Okay. And right here, as I was looking through my receipts, I found this one. She's come into her own. The Princess of Wales wasn't always comfortable doing royal engagements, but is now an impressive communicator. This is from a few years ago. You probably recognize that that she was playing rugby or something like that with those kids. And as you can see, it almost seems like Rebecca English had to close her eyes real tight and swallow very hard to get the courage to even say something like that. She has become an impressive communicator. When? When? I'd like to know when. When did that happen? Because as we all know, I believe it was, was it Tessa Dunlap who said that famous thing that time?
Reasons Catherine is so popular amongst certain demographics, and I'm going to say older people and men, is because she says absolutely nothing. Yeah. She's a good little girl who keeps quiet and doesn't complain, doesn't do anything, doesn't rock the boat, and is a very traditional, old-fashioned mute woman.
Take note, Nicola. There it is. Right.
One of the reasons Catherine is so popular.
Now,
well, obviously.
You know, we have to reach out to Kensington Palace for comment.
I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to, obviously to this day, and going forward.
All right, girl, we got you. We got your number. We know who and what you are and where you come from. Yep, you're from that little town of Buckleberry, where there's a family pile somewhere in that county. Okay, so Katie V says, it is over for Kate. Trust me, that family just needs women who can produce and bear them, hire and spare, and she has done her duty. Finito. Thank you very much, Katie V, and thank you for 22 months membership. Very, very impressive. Thank you so much for that. Yep. Now that they have those 3 children, she can ease on down the road. And while she's there, she can find a heart, she can find a brain, and she can find some courage. I think that movie may have been about her. Okay. And moving along, I think we're doing a nice pace here. Kate Middleton's royal return is happening in her own way at her own pace, says biographer. Who was that said that? Sally Bedell Smith. Now, that was back on the 11th of November. She's doing things at her own pace. Her own pace is a glacial pace, that is. Kate don't do nothing fast. Kate is not very productive. And on top of that, she's probably the laziest person in the family. William is the second laziest person in the family. And Camilla, I would say she's in third place for that title. But the fact that a 90-something-year-old monarch and her 90-something-year-old husband both were able to outpace this young woman, even on her best days, doesn't look good. It does not. It's not a good look. Not a good look. It's just so interesting how this is one of the main reasons why there has been such a storm of hostility against Meghan. It's because their standard bearer is lazy, selfish, inconsiderate, and really just there for the ride, just there for the occasions when she can wear those tiaras, and of course to help her family try to find a place in the upper crust. But other than that, not very useful. Not very useful. As let me see, who was that? KDB just said, the children are born, the children belong to the sovereign, and George will be king someday. And she's done, as evident by the fact that she won't attend that state dinner, that is. Very curious. Very, very curious. Oh, well, that's life behind the candelabra. Good riddance, Kitty. Now, this little business right here, Richard Eden, the moment it all went wrong for Meghan. Now, I wasn't even going to share this, but I kept thinking about the receipt that I kept tucked away. The moment it all went wrong for Meghan and the Queen, Richard Eden reveals in his show Reading the Royals how a wedding row over respect was the beginning of trouble. The moment where things went wrong for the pair's relationship has puzzled royal experts. Oh God, please. But now Richard Eden has studied. Listen, Richard Eden has studied the evidence in a new YouTube television series, Reading the Royals. Now, let me just tell you what I think is going on here. Because of his continued attacks and negativity toward Meghan and Harry, mostly Meghan, because of that, he has been rewarded with this plug in the Daily Mail. This is an opportunity for him to build his brand, if you will, to bring viewers to whatever he's working on. And they are giving him a global audience or a potential global audience for his projects by putting this in the Daily Mail, right? This is a chance for him to make some extra money. And so you can tell that one of the things that he's using as a as evidence of whatever it is he's trying to do, is the famous photo of the Queen with that pitiful face of hers where she rarely smiles. I'm telling you, I saw her at Troop in the Colors, and she went by looking just like that. People were kind of stunned into silence because you don't know whether to say something or not because she wasn't smiling. There's a parade to honor you for your birthday, and you don't smile. You just, have your resting Lizzie face, which is, according to that photo, which is the same face she had for Eugenie's wedding day. So what's the difference? There's no there. They have a handful of photos that involve or include Meghan that they pull out to try to justify whatever talking points, whatever new theory, or in this case, his investigation. He studied the evidence. I wonder how many bags of dog food it took to get him to do this. Do you wonder? How much dog food did it take to get you to this point? I guess we'll never know. But he should be up to his neck with dog food by this time. And let me see. Oh, thank you so much, MR, for the Cash App. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. Very nice of you. Okay. And thank you for supporting Royal Sussex. The truth is, the Queen adored Meghan, and Meghan loved the Queen. That's all to it. They can try and frame it any other kind of way if they choose, but we all know what the truth is. The other truth is that I was able to remove that horrible Cohen person, Samantha the Panther. They changed the what do you call it? When they did the iOS upgrade, the editing software is really good now. So I was able to take Samantha the Panther away. I'm so happy about that. Because otherwise, I love that photo, but there's Samantha in the background. Yuck. Samantha Cohen, ugh, yuck. Cannot stand her. Now, and on the right side, we could see what the Queen thought of Kate. It was very rare that the Queen and Kate Middleton were doing engagements together. And for good reason. The Queen could not stand her, and Kate felt highly insecure around Queen Elizabeth II. Unlike our Meghan, who was not so impressed by all of the stuff that seemed to make everybody so afraid. Meghan was fearless because she just gives everybody the same respect. No matter who you are, big or small, rich or poor, she's very constant. She's very consistent with the way she respects people. And so all of that fuss that people make about the royal family, I'm telling you, a lot of people in the UK, they really love the fact that Americans are unfazed by all that nonsense. But as I was saying, the Queen was not that crazy about Kate. You could always see it. You could always see it. This is yet another occasion where Kate was an absolute embarrassment, as well as Kate being disrespectful to the Queen. Very disrespectful. She comes to this engagement dressed like some flight attendant. I mean, is that her mother's outfit? Because her mother's not as tall, so I could see either that or but the Middletons, they love to show their legs. Oh, they just think their legs are their best asset. They love to show off their legs. And the Queen was not happy about it. She was not very happy about it. Poor Lizzie. She can't get no respect. But again, look at there. Do you remember when Meghan turned 40? What is that? Wishing the Duchess of Sussex a very happy birthday. And of course, it says the royal family, but that was the Queen's account. Very sweet. The Queen loved that moment and just wanted to make sure that everybody understood where her heart was. So there you go. Finito. Nothing else to say. And of course, Meghan came to Britain thinking she would be a star, but we already have one. She's called the Queen, says a woman of substance writer Barbara Taylor Bradford. Well, I think Barbara just bought the farm. Is that right? Is she has she made her transition? So she won't be saying that anymore, will she? Barbara Taylor Bradford. Okay. Should we? Do we have sound? Nope. Check 1, 2, 3. There we go. We got sound again. I don't know what happened. I think I when I clap my hand by the microphone, it for some reason when I do anything too loud, it just goes out. So anyway, again, we are back. If you don't have anything good to say about a person, don't say anything. She's dead. Good. All right. Amen. Next. You know, my theory about that kind of thing is Barbara Taylor Bradford is probably someone who was quite the royalist and quite a sycophant for that family and just did not welcome the change. Did not welcome the change, did not welcome modernity, was not welcoming to the idea that someone of African descent would dare marry into that institution. That bothered her. It bothers a lot of people. But as they say, you can't help who you fall in love with. We already have a star. She's called the queen. Well, now you got another star and you got another queen, right? I just don't understand what she means by that, but whatever. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Meghan is a star and she's also a queen. She was royal before she ever got to that wicked household, right? I mean, it just makes sense. She looks so natural in that lifestyle. So, if not Meghan, who else is as worthy? I don't know what Barbara was talking about. I really don't get it. It was Kate. She cast a wicked spell on the microphone. Thank you, Vaughn. Well, I wouldn't doubt that the members of that family is into witchcraft. All that Order of the Garter and the Order of the Thistle. I think that stuff is some type of ancient spell. Ellie Taylor battles to hide her amazement as she meets King Charles. Anytime you are at a function and how old is Charles? 76, 77-year-old man approaches you with cherry lip balm, childbearing hips, big sausage fingers, and ears that look like satellite dishes. It's jarring. It startles a person. So, she wasn't expecting to see Charles, and she saw him, and it just kind of caught off. It just kind of caught her off guard. I mean, I could see that happening. The only thing that would be more frightful than that is if she would have ran into Camilla. That probably would have shocked her too. But you just don't expect to see some baby boomer walking up on you like that. So she was a little scared. Please tell me she screamed. I hope she let out a scream. Please tell me she let out a scream. If there is any video footage of her screaming at the sight of Charles with his cherry lip gloss, inbox me with that, would you? Now, it is a fine tradition that you present flowers at a horse show. You always present flowers at a horse show. Horse shows and also at horse races. The winning horse always gets flowers, right? And of course, amongst the Windsors, that is a fine tradition. They all love horses, right? Especially Charles. They all love horses. And so, whenever there's a horse that's best in show, you're supposed to present flowers, right? Well, wasn't it nice of Afro Annie to present flowers to Camilla, the queen consort? Wasn't that nice of her? That's the sweetest thing any sister-in-law has ever done, was presenting those flowers to the queen consort. I thought that was just lovely. That was so kind of her. And she's a good sport. I mean, especially when we haven't figured out exactly which horse kicked her in the head. But yeah, like I say, that's very sweet of her. She's nicer than me. I don't know if I would have been able to do it. Lex says that lady sitting next to Camilla wasn't looking. Exactly. Shall I find her? Let me grab that lady. Let me find her. That unlucky woman who found herself sitting next to Camilla that day. Oh, there she is.
Part of the lunch club. Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming.
There you
Love
are.
to see
So
you.
you're the only man here?
Yeah, I am.
Yes. Great family. So how long? So how long?
Now that's what I call a shit-eating grin. I mean, she could not. Oh, I tell you, what bad luck. You get invited to a function, and I guess by now you should know that if you're of African descent, that it's mandatory that you sit next to the royals. They got to get you on camera. Reach out and touch somebody black and make sure all the cameras see that. Thank you very much, Lex. Reach out and touch somebody black and make sure every camera see that. uh anyway, that was nice of Princess Anne to present those flowers to Best in Show. That's right, Camilla, Queen Consort and Best in Show. Now that is something to whinny about. Oh, okay. I got a double shot of Ministry of Hacks. Morning. I love when he says that. Morning. I love the way he trolls the royal family. Okay, are we ready for it? Yes.
Revelations, you're fine.
Okay, here goes.
Monday, Salty Island. The weekend is already a distant memory. And today we're finding out that Kate is adding more meetings to her life's work in the field of early years. Yes, we all know Kate's made it her life's work to focus on the development of a child from 0 to 5 years old. And to be honest, we've all known for decades that that period of time is formative. It forms a child's opinions and views and pretty much determines what they will do in later parts of their life. But my questions for Kate are, where can anyone see the output of your work? Is the government using it? Is the NHS using it? Are midwifery schools using it? Are special baby care units and teenage pregnancy units using your work, your revelations, your findings to change what they do? And if so, why not? I just want to understand more about this project and how it can help humanity, because we spent a lot of time and money on it. I'd like to see what it can do for us. Comments are open as you.
Okay. Thank you, Ministry of Hacks. But wait a minute. I got one more. Let us all use kids as political pawns, says the Ministry of Hacks.
Friends, happy Sunday. Well, there's nothing like using children as a political pawn. So why not use children that have been involved in an event so tragic that it's probably ruined the rest of their lives? Yes, Kate's carol concert, the carol concert that takes over a year to arrange every single year, seems like hard work, has invited via Kate the children that were affected in the South Pole.
It is buffering.
To come to the event. I just think it's a bad move on every single level. Firstly, those children and those families that survive will have survivor's guilt. They need a lot more than an invitation to a carol concert to get their lives back on track. Secondly, for Kate, this just reeks like bad socks that have been in trainers for 3 weeks. It reeks of absolute desperation. Kate should be focusing on returning to public, linking up with cancer charities, talking about her experience of having cancer, using what she knows to do good. Comments are open, guys. Have a great day. Let me know what you think. Morning, friends.
Okay. Thank you, Ministry of Hacks. You know, I'm still thinking about that Barbara Taylor Bradford. It is just so pompous and so arrogant. Whenever, if and whenever the aristocracy, whenever those wannabe aristocrats, and don't get me wrong, not everyone in the aristocracy is about all of the pomp and circumstance, and not all of them are sycophants for the royal family, but there are some that are. And the people that are adjacent to the upper class, they're almost more insufferable than the people with the titles. I mean, really, some of the worst snobs are butlers and other servants, of course. The courtiers, they're worse snobs. Traditionally, they are worse snobs than the members of the family, whether it's the members of a duke's family or any other aristocrat. But the worst of the worst, I would imagine, would have to be someone who works for the royal family. The worst of the worst. They are worse snobs than the actual family. That's all. I mean, I think about that. It just makes my blood boil. We already have a star. She's called the Queen. I don't even think the Queen took herself that serious. Oh, well, let me stop thinking about her. Besides, she's made her transition, and good riddance. So where did we leave off? Oh, I have this for you. You guys, sometimes sometimes kids are so terrified of Charles and Camilla. If you think that one lady at the variety show was terrified, the effect that those people have on children is something that is almost unspeakable. To be a child around them is to be completely terrified. I have proof.
That's really unfortunate, isn't it? Particularly for young people, the front pew is a long pew. That's really unfortunate, isn't it? Particularly for young people, the front pew is a long pew.
You see that kid is literally trying to leap out the window when he realized he was cornered by Camilla. He was trying to leap out of a window to get away from her, crawl out on the ledge, rather than to be in the same space with Camilla, the Queen Consort. That poor child. That poor child. You know, I don't envy anybody who finds themselves stuck in a situation where they are cornered by someone who looks like the undead. That poor child, trapped, cornered in a space with Camilla, the Queen Consort. How frightful. How frightening. Yes, another bigoted old monarchist. I'm glad mommy saved him, though. I don't know what level they're on right there, but I would hate to see that kid, take a dive out that window just to try to get away from Camilla. But she has that effect on kids. Who knows how much candy they have to give those kids to cooperate anytime the royals bring those kids in and make them participate in that stuff. You know what I mean? There's no telling how much candy it takes to get them to cooperate. Probably give them candy and Benadryl and all kind of stuff. Like, remember that time when Charles and Camilla she want to go home. She want to go home. She don't. She want to go home. She don't want to be around those scary. Old people are scary. She don't want to be around them. Just like that little boy trying to get out that window. Don't want to be around them. They smell funny. They look strange. Don't want to be around them people. Anyway, I am just terrible today, aren't I? Or should I say, ain't I? But yeah, those people are frightening. So anyway, yesterday I had prepared some stuff about the Queen Consort. I had dug into my receipts again. So get comfortable because we got some stuff to cover. We're going to talk about the Queen Consort. The cost of Camilla. King Charles accused of sacrificing Prince Harry to save his and mistress's image after affair. Well, it's true. Charles did do a lot. He paid, I forgot how much he paid that guy to straighten out their image. What I hate about this, of course, the most is the sacrifices, the pain, the vicious things that have been done to Harry. And of course, Princess Diana. Not only did they drive Diana out of the country and eventually to her grave, but after the fact, first her life was taken from her, and then they pretty much destroyed her memory as much as they could. They've done everything they could to destroy her a second time. It wasn't enough that they drove her out the country. But then it was, oh, and for good measure, let's just keep this narrative going about how she was insane and paranoid and how she played a dangerous game. And that's exactly what they've done. The cautionary tale, how Diana played a dangerous game. We forget the fact that when all of this started, she was a teenager. At least they want us to forget. We know better. So, according to that documentary, Camilla is the most beloved royal of them all, even though the polls say otherwise. They want people to believe that she's popular. And also, I do apologize to anybody who's watching Royal Sussex on television. It did not escape my notice that while you're watching telly, this is what Camilla looks like. if you're watching Royal Sussex on a high definition 70-inch HD UFV, whatever they call it, television, I do apologize, because having something like this fill your living room is pretty painful, I know. But we shall survive this. If we can get through Donald Trump, we can get through this. We can get through this. But yeah, I did not think about it, but one of the squaddies sent this to me, and I was like, good God, is that in your living room right now? Call the ASF. What is the AFSP? Yeah, call animal control. Call animal control. That woman, absolutely, that woman. That is sad. Anyway, I do apologize in advance. We all know that Camilla is keeping Charles on a tether. She controls him as though she's working a puppet. She's the puppeteer. And Charles, of course, the puppet. Charles is like a hand glove. What is it? A hand puppet. Charles is just like a hand puppet to Camilla. So, Queen Camilla, Wicked Stepmother, Channel 4 documentary, expected to be hugely controversial. Yeah, it was controversial, but as I said, as they made their point, they would offset it with people like Angela Levin, Petronella Wyatt, and Robert Jobson. People that are friends. They invited Camilla's friends to speak about her. Her friends, her colleagues, her cronies. I don't think we got very far. As a matter of fact, it was so lacking that it was a waste of time. As I said yesterday, I don't think it moved the needle. It did not change the trajectory of anything. All they need to do is do what they've been doing. It changes nothing. They will make up stuff to defend Camilla, to make her seem normal, if that's not saying too much, to make it seem like breaking up a marriage and being crowned queen in a church where your husband is supreme governor, it all comes natural.
Invictus and Bride's Church. It's extraordinarily symbolic.
Okay. Ooh. Oh, sorry. Didn't need that one right now. That was the wrong thing. Okay. Is this it? Let me try this one.
Take a look at the PR campaign that Charles's office launched. There was always an underlying motive.
Yeah.
Going to promote Charles and Camilla. Results were good stories published, bad.
Oh, this thing is messing up. Hold on a second.
Take a look at the PR campaign that Charles's office launched. There was always an underlying motive. You are going to promote Charles and Camilla. Results were good stories published, bad stories suppressed. And if people got hurt in the process, including Charles's own children, then that was a price you had to pay.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is, but he was, telling the truth about the matter. I don't think he's a friend of Charles or Camilla. And as he said, you are to print good stories and suppress the bad stories. Or as I like to say, when it comes to Will and Kate good, Harry and Meghan bad. That is the way they write about Harry and Meghan in comparison to Will and Kate. Will and Kate good, Harry and Meghan bad. And I still cannot get used to it, although I know it's true. I accept it as being true because, it isn't, it's happening. But in the plain light of day, they can do this. And the majority of people that read those publications do not ask questions. They do not seem bothered by it. They don't seem to make sense out of the fact that you have a publication that has nothing good to say about this person or that person, whether it's Harry and Meghan, Carolyn Flack. It doesn't matter. If you're on the wrong side of them, if you are an inconvenience to them, if you upset a narrative, or if they just need to tell a story, you can do nothing right. And if something is going well, they will either run a negative story right behind it, or they will have some negative spin by the end of the story. I mean, I hate to believe this, that let's say, even if it's less than half of the people, but then again, after this last election here in the United States, you've had a majority of people vote against their own interests. You had a majority of people vote against the United States government, the Constitution. We nearly disrupted the will of the people when they stormed the United States Capitol. And yet the person who incited the riot is going back to the White House. Or you could look at it like Brexit, same thing, where you somehow convince a majority of people to vote against their own interests. I will never ever understand how so many people can be deceived so often. But Yeah, I get it though. I don't understand it, but I know it happens, and it did happen, and that's the same thing with the tabloid media. I don't know why anybody takes them serious, but it's some people that believe everything that they read. Everything. They don't consider the source. They don't consider the agenda. They just accept it. Very glamorous private party. Well, we remember this, where Camilla throws that party. She invites Hoghead Pierce Morgan, Angela Latrine, and of course that bison head Jeremy Clarkson. Dame Judy Dench, Maggie Smith was there, Hugh Bonneville, a whole, who's who of who's ever been close to Camilla. And these are people that have been knowing her for years. Camilla is the queen consort at this point, and she's partying with white supremacists. I don't know how else to put it. She invites white supremacists to her party. So on that day, people who uphold the right-wing agenda, proudly so, I might add, they proudly are more than just a little racist. They're whole and complete racists. She's partying with those people. And then a couple of days later, or was it the next day, there's Jeremy Clarkson's column. And as you can see, there has never been any attempt to disassociate herself with any of those people. And just like when, what's her name, Ngozi was offended at that party by Susan Hussey. As host of the party, you should be the first to apologize. Camilla refused to do it. But yet you have all these Black people that find themselves in close proximity to her, and they just accept it. They accept her. They accept Charles. They just accept it. As though you won't have any success in life as an artist, celebrity, entertainer, unless you're kissing up to those people. Unless you're kissing up to the accident of birth and his mistress, his concubine. That's who she counts as her dear friends. This was a Christmas party in 2023. This was a Christmas party days before Christmas. She invited them to Mayfair to some restaurant. They got gift bags, I think. You can see them all. They all have their gift bags. So it makes so much sense that Meghan got out of there. There was no way anyone could have anticipated how blatant this type of conduct would be. You don't think it's possible that these people could carry on like that. And yet they do. And they don't care what you think of it. And as we can see, they get away with it. Look at them. Got their gift bags, just smiling and grinning from ear to ear. And I'm really disappointed with Hugh Bonneville. I was such a fan of Downton Abbey. And Maggie Smith was at the party. Maggie Smith and Judi Dench. Could you imagine what the conversation was? Could you imagine the conversation? Inside Camilla's Christmas party, Queen Consort spotted chatting with guests as she attends glitzy star-studded bash in central London alongside Judi Dench and Jeremy Clarkson. And of course, they could not do this without bringing up Meghan. Glamorous party, Judi Dench, Piers Morgan, Claudia Winkleman, and Jeremy Clarkson join Queen Consort, a star-studded Mayfair lunch, as she proves Meghan isn't the only royal with pulling power. Another example of royals ensuing personal statement, ensuing. Anyway, today, a remarkable group of people gathered at Buckingham Palace with one aim: to see an end to violence against women and girls. I was deeply moved and inspired by their stories. With determination and courage, we will see an end of these heinous crimes forever. And yet, there was no outrage over Jeremy Clarkson's column. She's defending abused women, standing up for abused women. And yet, that which was the most abusive thing that had been written for a long time, Mum, the palace did not disavow in any way. Because those are her friends. Those are her friends. So when people say that Camilla was the racist that they were speaking of, I think it was all of them. Camilla, Charles, Kate, Willie, all four of them. All four of them. That's what I believe. It wasn't this one or that one. It was all four of them. And on different occasions, they all expressed their feelings to Harry. What is that going to look like? What color will the baby be, and what will that look like? In other words, are you sure you want to have a family with her? Yeah, the conversation was lively, says Richard Eden. The conversation must have been lively at Queen Camilla's lunch in Mayfair this week with Piers Morgan and Jeremy Clarkson. Two people that have been photographed, hanging around, associated with, friends with, have dined with Rupert Murdoch. Charles and Camilla hired a executive for the top post, an executive from the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail. They hired someone from the Daily Mail. That is how in bed with the media that they are. There is no pretense of objectivity, none whatsoever. That's why I don't get that so many people accept everything that comes out of that paper. Piers Morgan claims royal family members thanked him for standing up to Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And even worse, they want to import that type of behavior in the American media. Anger mounts over Camilla's lunch attended by Jeremy Clarkson and Piers Morgan. What difference does it make? Queen Camilla and the 12 disciples of hate, the people tasked with disseminating royal lies on behalf of Queen Camilla, are also most nastiest vile people in British media, journalism, entertainment, and politics. Why is Queen Camilla so hateful? Not my queen. Royal family won't condemn the op-ed about abusing Meghan Markle. They won't condemn it. Camilla condemns how society has come to believe violence against women is normal. How could you have one without the other? How could you be opposed to one and not the other? You see that? You put those side by side, it makes absolutely no sense. And of course, there you can see Dr. Shola, who is rarely invited to go on television anymore, has received, the Ipso has received the 17,500 complaints about Jeremy Clarkson's article. And then, of course, what was supposed to be an apology from Jeremy Clarkson was not an apology. It just acknowledges the fact that I know I got on people's nerves. Oh dear, I'd rather put my foot in it. That's it. I'd rather put my foot in it. But there was no apology. And that's what Dr. Shola said. It was a non-apology. Penny Jr. Nearly 40 years ago, I wrote that the then Prince Charles was one of those saddest people I'd met. One woman has changed that. Now, this is all leading up to the coronation. You know that, right? That's April the 29th. The coronation was Archie's birthday, the 5th of May, right? So days before the wedding, they were trying to make sure that they sold the public on the idea that Camilla was the rightful queen of England. They must have done some internal polls, right? The royal family love polls, and I think they take polls all the time. They obviously took some polls and they realized that in spite of all of the money that was spent, all of the lives that were permanently damaged, and in some cases, probably lives that were lost, Camilla was still not popular. So they dispatched their hounds from hell, the Royal Rota, all of the royal experts, to write articles, to go on television, and to try to build up some excitement about this relationship that was always meant to be. Charles and Camilla is the greatest love story of all time. Their love story is so great that after the coronation, Camilla went to her house and Charles went to his house. Camilla went to, I don't know, Rat Hill, wherever she lives, and Charles went to Highgrove. You would think after the coronation that the two of them would enjoy dinner with their family and all that. No, they went their separate ways. They had a luncheon at Buckingham Palace, and then they went their separate ways. They were done. Mission accomplished. Charles and Camilla is the greatest love story of all time. Camilla had no end game and married King Charles for love, her son says. Her son writes for the Daily Mail. Charles and Camilla hired an executive from the Daily Mail. This article is in the Daily Mail. Not to mention, they gave airtime to Tom Parker Bowles, where he went on television, and in a very staged interview, they said, was there an end game? No, there was no end game. Done. 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 It was all part of the propaganda leading up to, I almost said wedding, because it really was a second wedding. But it was all part of the propaganda orchestrated by the royal household or Camilla. Her son was supposed to say something different than what we would expect for him to say. Did they expect he was going to go on television and say, yeah, mommy had an end game. We were planning this all along. Now that the king has put me in his will and set me up with all of his friends and money and blah, 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 blah. What different would come out of his mouth? What different would we expect to hear? And then, of course, the curious case of William Parker Bowles. William, Princess Diana's twinsy. The spitting image of his mother until he got to a certain age. The spitting image of his mother, kissing and caressing the other woman. Is he on something? This is enough to make you sick. Enough to make you sick. So all of the people who says, oh, when William becomes king, Camilla better look out. For what? What's she looking out for? More money? Titles for her children? What is she looking out for? I don't get what she'd be looking out for. What is going to go terribly wrong? There's a good chance she'll go before Charles anyway. But what's going to go wrong? Because she's got this in the bag. Inside William's growing bond with Camilla. Now, if that article bothered him in any way, they would have taken it down or they would have changed it. They did not. No longer the wicked stepmother, his father's wife has become an unlikely ally for the prince, and the influence of the late queen has played a part. Now, this is not a new article. I've had this for a while. Kissing up to that old tea bag. What he really thinks of Camilla, who the hell cares? You know what he thinks? He thinks what they tell him he thinks. That's what he thinks of Camilla. Whatever they tell him he thinks, that's what he thinks. This is all so orchestrated. This is what I wanted to share with you all last night. But I said, no, that'll be just too much. But it was all orchestrated. Camilla has been pulling the strings all along because Charles is weak, indecisive, and unsure of himself. And William, much the same, weak. Both of them are notorious for their temper. Well, isn't it a frightened dog that barks? Notorious for his temper. And then people say, oh, well, I bet you they got a lot of dirt on them. And da, da, da. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they just have such a weak character. Their constitution is so weak that it really doesn't matter, does it? What does it matter? Because they actively participate in all of this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. If I ever encountered any of those people, I'm going to be polite, as I will be with anyone. But that people, Black people, go out of their way to kiss up to these people. They really don't have a choice, though. If you're going to be on television, if you're going to make it, you either renounce all of that nonsense, like Jamie Oliver, or what's his name? Not Jamie Oliver. What's his name? The one on the HBO. You either just, refuse the OBE and all that kind of stuff and move on, or you stay in it and be a part of it. But if you do accept it, when those people call and say that they need you, you have to respond. Otherwise, they'll destroy you. When they pull your chain, you had better bark, or they'll destroy you. John Oliver. That's right. John Oliver, right? Not Jamie Oliver, John Oliver. But yeah, when they pull your string or your chain, you better bark. Maybe this is how Camilla won William over. Maybe she put on that little slinky dress that Kate wore years ago, right? What's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich? Is he rich like me? Maybe that's what she did. Maybe Camilla put on that Kate Middleton see-through dress. I love to love you, baby. I love to love you, baby. Yeah, she probably went up to William singing like Donna Summers. I love to love you, baby. That's what she did. She put on that see-through dress and called William over. I love to love you, baby. William, I love to love you, baby. Yeah. Singing Donna Summers and wearing that famous see-through dress. And the rest, of course, is history. Now William is snookered with her. Yep. I wonder if no, never mind. I don't even want to think about it. But yeah, she had to have done something to win him over. This is the only thing I could think of. Unless, what if it was like Sharon Stone? Maybe she pulled one of them Sharon Stones on him. What do you think? Do you think maybe it was a Sharon Stone moment? Yeah, that's probably what it was. Invited him over to discuss a book and then did a little Sharon Stone on him. Either way, I'm sure it was very gruesome. Yep, that'll give you chills, won't it? Ugh. uh, Camilla did not leak details of her first meeting with Prince William to the press, as Harry claims in his tell-all memoir, Royal Sources Claim. Royal Sources Claim. Sources Claim. Now, see, that's how you know it was true. This is how you know it was the truth. Normally, they don't respond. But in this case, they went straight to the Daily Mail and had that thrown in there. Camilla did not leak the details of her first meeting with Prince William. Oh, really? And then Dan Wooten says, I've had enough of sniveling Harry's deranged campaign against media devils and the royals. He's trying to destroy Charles, Camilla, and William over leaks and briefings when I know those spinning for him and Meghan did just the same. Yeah. Dan Wooten even got involved. That's how you know it's true. That's how you know it's true. That struck a chord right there. That struck a chord. But all I got to say to Dan Wooten is,
hey girl, sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
yes, take several seats, Dan Wooten. Take several seats. Once an extramarital affair became public knowledge, the media wrote scathing articles about King Charles and his mistress, which led to Princess of Wales to reveal the third party in her marriage to the father of her two sons. And so just imagine, after this type of exposure, how much money, how many lies, how many lives were ruined to build Camilla's image up to the point that still less than half the people like her. I think her popularity is about, I don't know, 30% or something like that. But she's been underwater and she's going to remain underwater. There's nothing that they're going to do that's going to make people like her. I really do think that they're working on her legacy. They want to avoid embarrassment when the time comes for her to lie in state. They want to try to work people up into a frenzy where anybody would actually give a damn. But it's nothing you can do that is going to cover for the fact that that's the other woman, that she wrecked a marriage, that she was plotting and scheming against Princess Diana from day one. I know there's a lot of women that will turn a blind eye to it, but I don't know any woman that would ever forget that or forgive it. They might pretend otherwise for the sake of convenience, but I don't think there's any women that accept that. For the sake of supporting that institution, you could forgive a lot or look the other way, but you won't ever forget it. It's impossible. Is any married woman, that would be their worst nightmare. There's nobody who does not get that. Finally, Buckingham Palace accepts reality that the wife of a king is a queen, writes Peter Hunt. Yeah, that appears to be the situation. It doesn't matter. She's queen now. But when you see empty streets for her state funeral, it'll probably mean something then. Empty streets. I'm almost getting sick on the stomach because I could imagine the lengths that they are going to go through to try to build up some type of mourning for her, some type of loss. They're going to try to have a national consensus. Oh, you know, such and such, but she, this, that, and the other. That's what they're working on. They are working on her legacy. This is the next phase. This is just my opinion, but this is the next phase of the reformation of Camilla. They want to put her away with some dignity. But the only way that works is if the public feels sorry for her, feels remorseful. We had it all. We had her all wrong. She's not just a home wrecker. And explain to me the look, that constant glaring at the camera. She is the only one in the family. William does it on occasion, and so does Kate. But nobody does it in such a sinister way as Camilla, as though she's waiting to be discovered or found out. Always glaring at the cat. It must be someone that she's looking at, someone she's sending a message to. As far as I'm concerned, I see this as part of a very sinister game. I really do. I see this as part of a very sinister game. Not sure who the audience is supposed to be, but it must be a reason for that. I don't think that is just the camera happens to catch her. She's constantly doing that. I really do wish I knew what it was about. Although it might be quite disturbing. It might be quite disturbing. But I think that between Charles and Camilla, they have these very almost demonic games that they play. Just like that painting of Charles. That painting that looks like you know what. I think that's part of the joke. That's part of this almost like cult type of I don't even know what to call it. I don't know what the, for lack of a better word, end game is. And then, of course, gotcha. Look at her, plotting and scheming right there. Plotting and scheming. Trying to play it off, coughing up those tobacco stains in her lungs. The eyes will tell it. The eyes will tell it. And next on the menu, George. He's next. She's going to turn him against his father. And this is so that she can secure her grandchildren. She's already got everything tied up really tight for her children. Now she's working on the grandchildren. She wants to make sure that she can reach out from the grave. So whatever plants thought she's planted into Willie's head, okay, that's a done deal. Now she's got to work on the next generation. I'm telling you guys, this is deep. This is deep. We really need to call an exorcist. Designer Julian McDonald, who lured Queen Camilla to her first fashion show, says he wants to dress Meghan Markle, but there is one royal he doesn't. I'm sorry, not Meghan Markle. I'm sorry, I'm looking down at the picture. That he wants to dress Kate Middleton, but there's one royal he doesn't want in his outfits. So Camilla pulling the strings again, doing her thing. Now she has decided that she would turn this guy against Meghan so that he could, try to build his career by going after Meghan, someone who has sold more clothes than he'll ever get credit for. And it's not the first time. Not the first time. They even had the nerves to superimpose Camilla's image. That was the Sun that did that. And notice who wrote that article, Matt Wilkinson. They superimposed her image next to Princess Diana like they were best buddies. And that was so that they could, and I do believe that this was meant to be as insulting as it really was or is. Bruce Oldfield, who built his name sewing from Princess Diana, all of the designers in this world, she had to solicit him to make her wedding dress, not for her first wedding with Charles, but the coronation wedding dress. Remember, that was not just a coronation. That was really a wedding. He's the one that sewed the dress for her wedding to Charles, her second wedding, the coronation. A guy who is known for Princess Diana. I think they forgot to Photoshop her appearance. They Photoshopped her into the photo with Diana, but what they neglected to do was to soften up her look so she wouldn't look like a silky chicken. Leg says, why does it seem like the Duke's why does Camilla seem like the Dukes from Trading Spaces? Oh, you mean Trading Places, right? Mortimer Duke, the Duke brothers. Thank you so much for that. Is it Places or Spaces? Now I'm starting to doubt myself. Trading Places, Spaces, Places, or Spaces. And now I can't think of which is which. But thank you so much for that. But this just goes to show how sinister Camilla is. And Bruce Oldfield also sold, or designed, should I say, the gown that she wore when they went to Germany. See there? The Queen Consort has picked Princess Diana's favorite fashion designer to make her a coronation gown. Bruce Oldfield is working in secret for 75-year-old Camilla after they became firm friends. You've taken her son, you've taken her husband, you drove her other son out of the country, and now you've taken her fashion designer. See there, a chance meeting with Princess Diana led to a 10-year friendship. Perfect client, said, when I look back, it was relentless for her. We did dress her up like she was going to a wedding every day. He was awarded an OBE in 1990 and has been such and such and such and such. Okay, places. All right, that's what I thought. Let me see. Yeah, absolutely. This is all so sinister. It is so calculated. Well, I tell you what, I have lost a lot of respect for him. Now, okay, now this little section right here, take a look at this. Amanda Platel, as a betrayed wife, I was on Team Diana. So why have I finally forgiven Camilla? Because you want your job. That's why you finally forgiven Camilla. Platel says, I can't forgive Camilla for the way she treated Diana, Princess Di, as she basked in the glow of her rehabilitation years later. So in 2017, you could not forgive her. But in 2022, now that she is queen, or no, soon to be queen, that was in February. The queen died in September. So yeah, now that the queen is obviously terminally ill, now all of a sudden you could accept her. You see that? Do you all see that? In 2017, I can't forgive Camilla. In 2022, I finally forgiven Camilla. Do you see why I save stuff like this? Because they are attempting to reimagine the events as they occurred. Right? Well, what is that they call it? Revisionist history. They're trying to revise the events, to rewrite it. Liz Jones, I've become a Camilla fan because she reminds me of Diana. Seriously? Liz Jones, the reason why I used to love Diana, but now I'm Team Camilla, and it's not what you think. Oh, yes, it is. It's exactly what the F we think. That's what it is. And even Dan Wooten, I've wrestled with my conscience out of loyalty to Princess Diana, who the royals and establishment wrongly want to erase from history. But after the coronation, it's finally time to accept Queen Camilla. I cannot call him what I want to call him right now. I wouldn't want to get canceled. But just imagine what I would say. And what is, well, let me see. That's the Spectator. No, that's really too small. I can't see that one. Hold on. Nope. Okay. Camilla has been canny. She kept the media close and the Daily Mail even closer. Now that's clever. Now, just so you know, the Spectator is a very conservative newspaper or news magazine or whatever. She kept the media close and kept the Daily Mail even closer. How Camilla came in from the code. Yeah, that's an article about how Camilla came in from the code. Prince Charles and Camilla hired Daily Mail executive for top post. Need we say more? Keep the Daily Mail closer. That's exactly what she did. And of course, you may have heard of St. Bride's Church. This is a church where people from Fleet Street, this is like their home parish for the writers of the rags that we just mentioned. This is like their parish church. This is the church where they go to pray for their souls after they have tried to destroy others. And who is the patron of this church? You guessed it, Camilla the Queen Consort. Camilla Godzilla, the Queen Consort. That is the patron. Like I said, it's all a sadistic game that they're playing. It is all part of the game.
Camilla is patron of St. Bride's Church. I think the fact that Camilla is patron of St. Bride's Church is extraordinarily symbolic. It's actually an example of the cynicism that runs through this entire story. When the history is written of Charles and Camilla, it will not be seen as a particularly glittering episode in the British monarchy. I think it'll be the opposite. I think it's rather tatty, tawdry. It's a story of opportunism and extraordinary cruelty to those who got caught up under the wheels of their inexorable, inevitable love. I think the fact that Camilla is patron of St. Bride's Church is extraordinarily symbolic. It's actually an example of the cynicism that runs through this entire story. When history is written by Charles and Camilla, it will not be seen as a particularly glittering episode in the British monarchy. I think it'll be the opposite. I think it's rather tatty, tawdry. It's a story of opportunism and extraordinary cruelty to those who got caught up under the wheels of their inexorable, inevitable love.
Okay, so you heard it twice. The cynicism, that's the word to use, cynicism. It's an example of cynicism. Arthur Edwards, another media person. Harry's vicious attacks on Camilla could not be forgiven by King Charles. And who the hell are you to tell us what Charles will and will not forgive? I would not be surprised if Arthur Edwards, Charles, and Camilla just sit up in the bed and watch TV together. Not that there's anything going on, God forbid that, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's not as chummy, as comfortable with them, where he just sit up in the bed with them watching TV, all of them laughing, eating popcorn and stuff. I would not be surprised. And then every so often the conversation turns to Meghan. And then, of course, they try to figure out another way to insert some disparaging comment about Princess Diana. Outrage. King Charles evicted Harry and Meghan from Frogmore Cottage after wicked stepmother Camilla claim. Now, that was back in March of 2023 after Spare came out. And I don't doubt that Camilla was the one that orchestrated that. They tried to say it was Princess Anne because they know Princess Anne is not going to correct it. But we know where it came from. Prince William backed King Charles' decision to evict Harry and Meghan. It was Camilla. That was Camilla's decision. And then this, move over, Kate. Camilla has a new queen of the High Street. Camilla is a new queen of the High Street. Duchess of Cornwall is putting on the style. Well, it's just like I said yesterday. They had all of that fuss about Camilla's outfit and everything, right? Well, anyway, I'll share that with you later. But they could get those people to write anything. Look at there, Jeannie Bond. We know Jeannie Bond is a big liar. That's the one who said that Diana was okay with Camilla. So if she could write something like that, of course, she can say with a very straight face, move over, Kate. Camilla is the new queen of the High Street. If frumpy ever becomes vogue, sure. Now, there's Arthur Edwards spending the weekend with Camilla, right? And then out of the blue, royal photographer stirs controversy by claiming Camilla is nicer than Princess Diana and easier to get on with. People's memories are slipping. Now, when is he going to start doing that to Harry? Because he's always going on and on about how great Harry was, right? So eventually, if he's still alive when George is doing his royal duties, then Arthur Edwards is going to say, you know, George is much easier to get on with than Prince Harry. And much nicer, too. Eamon loves a hug with Camilla. Eamon loves a hug with Camilla. Was that before or after he said, throw them off the balcony? Throw Harry and Meghan off the balcony. Do you guys see a pattern? Because I do. Sarah Vine, not to be outdone, Sarah Vine. Prince Harry's portrait of Camilla, the villain, bears no resemblance to the earthy, authentic, and engaging lady that I've come to know, that I've got to know. Really? Y'all that close, huh? Y'all that close. So much for objectivity. And let's not forget the offensive column that she wrote about Meghan before they even got married. I don't even like to repeat it. I don't even like to say the word. It's so disgusting. Trust in the writers, in the written press. Look way down there at the bottom. Way down there at the bottom. You see that? That's the United Kingdom. That's how much people trust the written press in the UK. They're just above, let me see, what is that? Just above Bulgaria, North Macedonia, Serbia, Cyprus, and Bosnia-Herzegovina. Just above that. They're below Turkey, Croatia, Slovenia, Spain, Lithuania, Hungary, Greece, Latvia, Malta, Poland, They're way down there. Norway, Iceland, Switzerland, Albania, Netherlands, Finland, Denmark, Portugal, Estonia, Sweden, Austria, Luxembourg, Belgium, Germany. All those are at the top there. And of course, this is just for Europe. This is just for Europe. And there she is, kissing Lord Nappyhead, the racially ambiguous owner of the Daily Mail. The real reason they can't make up, Camilla the villain. This all came out after Spare. Camilla was dangerous. Prince Harry launches a blistering attack on Queen Consort, branding her a villain and claiming her need to rehabilitate her image after affair with Charles would end with bodies left in the street. He ain't lie. And on the wedding day, their first wedding, as you can see, that spineless William is looking down at the floor. Harry cannot seem to take his eyes off of this disaster that is taking place. Despite all of the promises that Charles made that they were not going to get married and all that kind of stuff, one after the other, one incremental lie after the other. There's a whole list of things that wasn't going to happen. And then after they do their internal polls, eventually it happens. But in order to do that, they have to tear somebody else down. And of course, this is messing with Kate Middleton. How Rose Hanbury, the Marchioness of Cholmondeley, is blossoming in the court of Queen Camilla, writes Richard Eaton. Now, you know that was deliberate, right? That was deliberate. I don't know what message she was sending to Kate, but that was deliberate. That was deliberate. There's the 12 disciples that they mentioned. And of course, all of that fuss about the queen not wanting to meet Camilla, only for the queen, after she was, after she found out she's terminally ill, the queen made some kind of deal with Charles and Camilla. And what happened? The queen sits in front of the cameras and say, do not call her the princess consort when I'm gone. Call her queen consort. Okay, we promise we'll call her queen consort. And then, of course, just before the coronation, there was no consort. It's just going to be queen. A queen in her own right. Like it's William and Mary. Yeah, they're ruling like William and Mary. But back in 2013, the Globe magazine, a tabloid in the US, says, defiant Camilla, I will be queen. They called it years ago. 9 years before. Actually, 10 years before the coronation. The coronation was in May of 2023. Almost 10 years to the day. Is he there? Almost 10 years to the day, they called it. Dying queen, dying Elizabeth, too weak to fight back. How do you like that? Well, one thing's for sure. It is really like putting lipstick on a pig. You can give her all the titles. You can lie, cheat, and steal your way to the top, but you're still a big sloppy mess. Still a big sloppy mess. No comparison. A big sloppy mess. What Camilla did to others will come back in karma, and dates to look out for claims. Anyway, this is one big year in 2023. According to an astrologer, she claimed that the royal will face karma for past deeds. I wonder if they can find that person now. I wonder if they could find that person. I wonder whatever happened to the person who made that prediction. Oh, well. Oh, someone's interested in a membership. Let me put that at the top of the chat. There you go. I'll make it easier for you. That's the link for memberships. Not my horse, says the people of Republic. Well, actually, not Republic, but just people who don't like Camilla. Queen Consort Camilla was instrumental in destroying Princess Diana's marriage to King Charles and instrumental in elevating Angela Levin. Meghan Markle hater as her biographer. No plausible deniability. Connect the dots. That's Prince Harry's mother and wife if Harry speaks. So let me see. When did that come out? That was fall of 2022. Maybe this is when we were talking about Spare. Did Spare come out in fall? I don't recall. But yeah. Well, there was that rewrite. They did a little rewrite after the Queen died. Documentary branding Queen Camilla a wicked stepmother panned as needless, tacky, and ranty mess by critics. So this was the pushback today. Critics have blasted the program, which aired last night on Channel 4 and spoke to UK journalists and insiders about Royals' past. They had three people that are friends of Camilla. You had Angela Levin, who wrote the official biography. You had Robert Jobson, who probably rushed back to his CPAP. And then the woman who has not one single mirror in her house. And that, of course, is Petronella Wyatt, the woman who owns no mirrors. Those were the three. The prime three people that spoke up for Camilla. Not very objective. So there you go. Royally exposed. That is what I had to say yesterday about Camilla. And I had some more stuff, but I figured that was enough. But those are the receipts some of the receipts that I've kept as they try to reimagine Camilla's meteoric rise to power. She's been very successful at it. However, this idea that she is loved by the people, that much, I don't think they have enough time for that. I don't think they have enough time. Whatever the circumstances of her demise, I don't think that that's going to win people over. I don't think so. If she crawled up a ladder and saved a baby from a burning building, I still don't think people would like her. Yep. So that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for taking that little ride with me. Yeah, I wouldn't blame Meghan if she never goes back over there. Why bother? Why bother? Yeah, what a rotten individual. Rotten to the core. Rotten to the core. It is frustrating though, you guys. It really is frustrating that so many people are willing to accept some of the worst that humanity has to offer. Whether it's the United States president or the Queen consort, some of the worst that humanity has to offer. And some of the hate listeners, they don't love Camilla. They don't love Camilla. They're not interested in Camilla. They're interested in using her as a weapon against the Sussexes, against a black woman. That's what it is. They're interested in a way that they can weaponize anything to do with Camilla. But I don't think there's too many people that are particularly crazy about her, except for her little drinking buddies. But aside from that, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't see it. I don't see it. Hmm. Well, Charles is weak, and I think he's going to be bitter and rotten to the end. I don't have much hope for Charles. Charles walking with Doria arm in arm after the wedding, walking Meghan down the aisle. That was all calculated. Charles is good at putting on the charm. Even the Queen would smile and shake hands with the devil. Queen Elizabeth had so many dictators for dinner and such. So can't expect much from those people. Well, at least we have we have this to look forward to, and we'll have the Tyler Perry event. So I suggest that for the time being, we just forget about those people. Harry and Meghan are safe now. They're in the US. They're thriving. They're Hollywood producers, philanthropists. They're doing their universal service. They have beautiful children. And I was looking at, gosh, what was that I watched this weekend? It was something. And I know what it was. So, of course, it was the usual. Harry misses his life back in the UK. He misses having someone that he could have a beer with. Do you know how many people that Harry has known from the UK that live in Southern California? How many frequent trips that people in the UK make to California? I mean, I know this was just nonsense, so I'm not trying to respond to that person that said that. But they were trying to say that Harry is going to make some kind of way to get back into the royal fold. And throughout this whole conversation, there was no mention of the children. What of the children? Harry is going to leave his children in California and go back to the UK so that he can be abused by his family again. Make that make sense. Harry is going to leave year-round sunny weather, a palatial home with a view of the ocean, and he's going to go back to the UK so that his brother, his father, his nonverbal sister-in-law, and of course, the wicked stepmother, so that they could have another go at him, especially after all that has been said and done. We don't need to worry about them. And even if by some bizarre circumstance that they end up living someplace else, their home is the children and Doria. That's their home. Children and grandmother, mommy and daddy. That is their home. Wherever their family is, that's their home. Home is not brick and mortar. Home is with your family. That's it. None of that other stuff matters. I don't worry about it. I don't worry about it, and I suggest that you don't either. That is the stuff that they say to try to justify the negativity. But there's no reality to it. Are you saying that I seem bummed out? No, I am frustrated because the documentary, after all of the hype, didn't really deliver. But I feel that I'm obliged to tell the other side of the story. That's it. That's it. There's no other way to look at it. It's just that there's an attempt to revise the history. And as usual, I'm going to push back. There's other people that are going to push back. There's people on TikTok that are going to push back, and so on. But that's what we have to do. That is what we have to do. You know who's bummed out? I'm going to tell you who's bummed out. Camilla. Because for everything that has been said and done, people still don't like her. They've lied, they stole, they cheated, and yet people don't like her. So no, I'm going to keep telling my truth. Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Good night, Beverly McCaskill. I tell you what, though, I got to find my humidifier. I know where it is. I got to put it on. I am losing my voice. I need some, and my lips are so dry. And I'm drinking water and everything, but I either need to put a pot on to boil or I need to get that humidifier going. I got a big giant pot that I put on a low flame. I think I may do that one tonight. Okay, you guys, so that is it. I will say goodnight to you. Feel free to skip out of here. I'm going to just look at a couple of the comments that are here. Things get extreme with evil people get better. Oh, Things get extreme with evil, people get better, because that's when God steps in. You better say it. You better say it. Oh, I'm sorry. I saw this one already. Okay. I'm going backwards. Okay. Really? Andrew Parker Bowles warned everyone about his former sister-in-law? You mean his former wife, right? Yeah, it's all about money, not about the loyalty. Hi, Kim Peaches. Hmm. Oh, so they knew she was the leak, and they didn't want Harry to write about that. Well, like I said, they went out of their way, because of a source. They went out of their way to say that Camilla didn't leak. You know, whatever happens, I have to say, I'm glad that Harry said the stuff that he said. And I just feel like sometimes you just have to take your chances. In the name of the truth, you just have to take your chances. Some things you just can't let people get away with it, because their goal is that at some point, people who knew Princess Diana won't be around to tell her story. And I mean, like, the people who actually knew her, not the royal rodents that knew her and decided to, betray her memory, but the people who knew her and loved her and still speak well of her. But I think that over time, that eventually, when Charles and Camilla are not there to conspire, hopefully, someone will be brave enough to tell the truth. Yeah, that is me, a night owl. A night owl. I feel more creative at night. I feel more creative at night. Okay, let me have one of my Connie Balmer Ricolas. I need a Ricola. I keep them right here. That's the stuff. I feel it soothing my throat already. Okay, let me take that away. Well, you guys, if there's nothing else, yes, home is where the heart is. I think we're done. Keep saving those receipts, especially you content creators. Keep saving those receipts. Screenshot it. Save it. Add it to the social media. Put it out there so they don't get away with it. And one thing that has helped Harry and Meghan all this time is the fact that the Sussex squad keeps its receipts. We share those receipts. We push back against their lies. Otherwise, these people would have gotten away with some horrendous things. But it didn't work. You know, they say, who cares about social media? Who cares about Twitter? Twitter's not a real place, but it does have real life consequences. Social media does have real life consequences. By the way, did you guys see Miss Universe is in trouble? Miss Universe is in trouble for using the N word. I hate that happened to her. She was doing a promotion or whatever, and I guess she went to 30 Rockefeller Center or the Empire State Building. And as she was doing some video, it had some lyrics that included the N word. And so she was mouthing along with the music. I don't think it's a big deal, but the problem is they're going to make a big deal out of it. The reason, and you know, I hate the N word. I don't use it, and I don't like people that do use it. However, they shouldn't have put it in the music. It's not enough to say, oh, you shouldn't use that word. That word shouldn't be used by anybody. And so don't be surprised that if people are singing along with the songs, that the word is going to be used. Then don't put the words in the music. Don't put the words in the music, and we don't have a problem. There's no good reason why anybody uses that word. So that's why I said I'm not going to get angry with her for singing along with the song. I mean, you know, would you rather she do it in the privacy of her home? And then we can just pretend like that doesn't happen anywhere? When the truth is it happens everywhere. Society accepts the use of that language in song. And I don't think it should be used. So now they want to get on her case for making a very terrible mistake. But I think that's all it was just a mistake. Oh, sorry, Camilla. Ex-smokers are more prone to infections, but from singing to eating spinach, there are ways you can keep problem at bay. I see they have an article explaining why Camilla gets so many chest infections. Well, I said that the other day. That's pretty normal with an ex-chain smoker. Why does Richard Eaton do that strange thing with his hands when he's talking? I hate to see when he's talking because he's always got his hands going in a very awkward way. Oh, that's nice. Good for you. That is very nice. Oh boy. Could a path be emerging for Prince Harry to resume royal life? The king's all powerful private secretary and sworn enemy of the royal, who was disparagingly dubbed as the Wasp by the prince in spare, could soon be retiring, claims a royal expert. So what that's supposed to mean? Y'all said you didn't want Harry, so he's not coming back. You see, they're saying this, right? And it's a setup. It's a setup so that at some point they're going to say William has blocked any plans of Harry to return. William refused. You know what I'm saying? They're just setting it up so that it can make William look strong. The runner-up is from Nigeria, so the young lady has to go. She, you know what? You know what? I thought about that though, because when they announced the winner, most of the girls on the stage went to the other. Was it the girl from Nigeria? They went to her instead of going to congratulate the potty mouth, the one who seems to have Tourette syndrome whenever she listens to rap music. Instead of congratulating her, they went over to Miss Nigeria first. And I would say it was, if I remember, there was one person who went to the potty mouth and everybody else went to Miss Nigeria. And then slowly they trickled over to the other one. And the one that went to her the first time, that was the last year winner who was pinning the crown to her head. So I do think that if there's any more backlash or any more, that she may have to give up the crown. Still, I'm sorry that happened. I really am. Marsha says Mrs. Universe was wrong using it at all. She had an image to uphold. She's grown and should have known better. I do not give her a pass, and I don't blame songs that have the N word in them. Yeah. Well, this is how I feel about it. I totally agree that she has an image to uphold. And if it was anybody else, especially if it was a black person, they wouldn't tolerate that. But the thing is, I'm speaking as a society as a whole. It's too confusing to put that language in a song and then expect people not to use it. I think we should, as a community, just ban the use of the word. And if we stop saying it as black people, then other people wouldn't have any authority to use it. And all that stuff about, well, when I do it, I'm taking back my power. I don't care about your power. No one should use that word. No one. So if you don't want people to use it, stop normalizing it. Stop putting it in the songs. Otherwise, you cannot be surprised when people start throwing that word around. Now, I have been in social situations and I have waited to hear the white people do that. And much to their credit, I don't think I ever one time, and I was in a work setting. I was working. And, I was doing some work. And so it was quite often that I would be in a room full of drunkards. And I was waiting for it. and either I can't hear well or they just didn't do it. So I thought that I was very impressed by the fact that I never heard it. But I wouldn't have been surprised if I did, because nobody should use that language. So I don't know anything about this girl. I don't care about her one way or the other, but I'm just speaking on principle that we should stop using that word. Black, white, I don't care who you are. Nobody should use that language. When you know better, you do better. And that's why I'm Dr. Maya Angelou. When you know better, you do better. Okay. Let me see here. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, well, anyway, I don't feel like talking about that no more. But I'm just going to say we need to stop using that word. Everybody should stop using it. To me, that word means death. It means the complete disrespect and dehumanization of a whole culture and race of people. I've had people say, I've known you for years and I've never heard you use that word. I cringe when I hear it. Did you notice when I was talking about Sarah Vine, I couldn't even repeat it? Even though she didn't exactly say it, but we know what she meant, I couldn't even repeat it. So don't think I'm giving this girl a free pass. I'm just saying, I understand. It's too confusing to have that word as part of music or conversation. It's too confusing. Now, if it's in a movie or something like that, okay, fine, it's in a movie, because that is a dramatization or a reenactment, whatever it is. But if it's in a song where generally you're just, the song is new. Yes, the person is speaking of their experience, but they're calling themselves and everybody they know, everybody they ever met in life, they are using that word to describe them. And I hate that word. I hate it. And so as what is it, Seven Lily says, thanks to music, now that's part of our vocabulary. Right? I had someone tell me from Brazil that there was a restaurant that had that word as, I think that was the name of the restaurant. And they told me, before I came to the United States, I didn't know that that was a bad word. I didn't know. And there are some people, and I'm not speaking about Miss Universe, there are some people who don't know. They think we all call each other that. I mean, I'm getting very emotional at this point, but they think we all call each other that. So am I to condemn this young lady who comes to the US? I don't know if she's ever been here before or whatever. She probably should know better, but she's singing along with the song, as people do every weekend, every time they get in their car. Nobody else is around. But we made it. We made it. In some situations, socially acceptable. And then what's even more confusing, when I see Latino, Hispanic young men using the word to describe themselves. Well, I'm that type of, what's up, my? They are using it to describe themselves because they're mimicking the music. They're mimicking the lifestyle. So I'm only speaking for myself. I do not condemn that young lady. She is responding to this culture that has been exported through music from the United States. And I'm sure that there was no malice, there was no hatred or hostility. It just came out. It just came out. Probably wasn't even thinking about it. What was the song she was singing? New York or whatever? Just came out. But how did we get here? Because they started putting it in music and nobody protests, nobody pushed back. As a matter of fact, we just started calling each other that, calling ourselves that. And then if somebody else says it, then we're offended. Can't have it both ways. Cannot have it both ways. Anyway, that's my soapbox moment. And if you do use that word, challenge yourself not to use it ever again. Challenge yourself to not use it again. We're better than that. I'm sorry, I'm sitting up here thinking, but yeah, okay. Like I said, it does things to me. But the whole thought of it, I'm just like, as far as we've come, and as much as we have survived as a race, especially in this country, that at a time when Black people had never been more powerful in this country, the 1980s, here comes hip hop, rap and hip hop. And it's just like we took a huge step backwards. That was I would say the 1980s was like the very peak of Black empowerment in this country, in my opinion. And the two things that has done more to undermine that than I could think of anything else is that language and music and such, and of course, the crack epidemic. Those two things. The music, the chemicals, all of that has taken us so far backwards. That's why I think it's not useful to single out this person or that person. We really got to look in the mirror with that one. We got to look in the mirror. That is one of those moments where you got to look at the man in the mirror. If you don't want to accept it from other people, you should not accept it for yourself. especially given the history behind that word, behind that language. Very hurtful to me. Okay, who just got here? Look, who just got here? They probably are further back on the recording. I'm like, who just got here? Yeah. Yep. Okay, you guys. Sorry to get so serious right there, but that is one of those things that just kind of grates on my nerves. That really grates on my nerves. I worry about the kids, though. I do worry about these kids. We grew up with prosperity and family ownership of businesses and real estate and stuff. You know that? Johnson Products, Johnson Publishing Company, all of these companies, supermarkets, restaurants, all of those things that we used to have in the neighborhood. I love Etta James. I love Etta James. I like some of her old stuff. Gosh, what is that Etta James song that I like so much? All I need is someone like you, my dearest darling. Please love me too. With you in my heart, I pray your answer is yes. Ooh, my dearest darling. Oh, that was a good song. Yeah, and Billie Holiday, gosh, she just had a way with a song. I listen to a lot of those old songs. Yes. Oh my God. When Meghan talked about that, I was shaking. I was shaking. That something that seems so innocuous could totally tear at a person, tear at your being, your existence. And yes, it does make a difference where it comes from. But when I hear it, when I'm in public and I hear other people use that word, I start wondering, am I going home to my family today? Is this going to elevate into something deadly, dangerous? Because to me, when other people use that word, I feel like they have so little respect for me as a human being that they don't see me as a human being. Right? Didn't it help? Did you notice that? It did. It brought my voice back. Well, Connie Balmer only sends the best. Connie Balmer only sends the best. Okay, you guys, it has been 3 hours exactly. And we can continue that conversation another day if you like. I don't mind. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of your input. Thank you for respectfully communicating with each other. That is always important. Okay, thank you, moderators. Let's get out of here. It is a work night after all. It is a work night. For some people are just starting their day. Okay, cheers.